Here in Ipswich, we've got the hospice at Quidnam in Norfolk, which is, I don't know if you near East Harding, and we've also got a hospice at Milton in Cambridge. So we are caring for children with life-threatening conditions and complex healthcare needs. So we're looking after children from birth right up to the age of 19, and the prognosis for these children is that they're not expected to reach adulthood. We're offering families short break care as well as obviously end-of-life care, which we'll talk about more as we go round. I think it's fair to say some people expect to come here and see that we're catering for sort of a huge number of 30 children in a ward sort of type environment, but we're not. We have 6 bedrooms. One we always keep for emergency, so we have 5 children in overnight at any one time, and families are given an allocation of nights and days per year. They can book their child in to come and stay with us. So it could be that families come, children come one weekend or month or something like that. They'll only stay for longer periods if they've been for end-of-life care. So this is our activity hall. We've kept the walls sort of reasonably bare. We can move all of the chairs going into the cupboard, the tables can go in the corridor, and obviously it's marked out with the sort of basketball, football pit court, so that then we can have children here with wheelchairs or on foot, playing softball games and that sort of thing, or making a mess or doing painting or whatever. We also use this room for our sibling groups, so because our care is about the whole family, it's not just about the sick child, so we're working with mum, dad, with grandparents and brothers and sisters. So our family support team do like after school clubs and things with siblings, which previously we were renting school halls and things to do that in, so to have a facility like this is great. And obviously also it could be used as a meeting space. We've got the dividing walls, we can split it in half and have 2 meetings going on at one time, which again we've never had before. People were having meetings in bedrooms and all sorts. Doing appraisal in a bedroom is not ideal. So, because it's separate from the rest of the building, it also means if we wanted to, we could hire it out for external use. Because people come to reception, no matter what's going on in the hospice, they wouldn't ever need to go to the hospice. They just come to this area, you've got your tea and coffee and the toilet on the other side of the wall. So it's all quite self-contained. We've got the dining area and kitchen. We have staff that cook and provide meals for families. Obviously some children don't eat at all, others have very specific dietary requirements, and obviously we cater for that. And equally, if we have a family and friend of life care, then obviously we'll cook meals for the family. So we've had a family and friend of life care before, and maybe other family members have come and joined them for Sunday dinner or something. So it's an opportunity for families to get together, and we like to be as open and as make it homely and welcoming as we possibly can. We also can use this area for arts and crafts activities and things. And then there's the main play area, which we'll come back to, which has got like your sofa and big screen TV for playing your PlayStation and things like that. I'll introduce you to Michelle, who's our family support practitioner.
I'll just sort of give you a really brief overview of the family support team, because I could keep you here for hours and I know you've got quite a long talk to do. Basically we're a growing team, and we have 4 family support practitioners. We have a music therapist who you'll meet as you go round. We've got a play specialist and a play worker, and we've also got a youth worker on board now as well. So we're kind of the other side of the care that the hospice offer, and you're here because I take it this is like your first part of it, is it?
Yeah,
so
and you just done the activity.
Okay, so my role would involve, first of all I'll talk about the individual work that we do. My role would involve either working within the hospice or going out into the community. Now we've got this lovely building though, it enables more choice to work within the hospice. We provide pre and post bereavement support for up to 3 years after the death of a child, which is fantastic because when a lot of the services go, we're still there. And we provide support for anybody who has a significant relationship to the child. So it could be a sibling, it could be mum, dad, granddad, anybody. The work that I do could be individual work, or it might be couple work. Sometimes a couple are grieving very differently and they feel a need to have that support together. And we also do family group work as well. We have a huge amount of kind of fun days as well, and the hospice affords so many opportunities now. We have things like sibling days where the siblings come in, and what they have in common is they either have or have had a brother or sister that use the hospice, and it's a day all about them. So we've had reptiles brought here. We had owls in the wood actually last night.
Did you?
Yeah. And it enables us to build that relationship with them, so that if sadly they're ever in the position of end-of-life care for their brother or sister, we have made that connection already. We also have mums' nights, dads' nights. Dads have gone tobogganing, mums have had bring a pudding night. We have Christmas parties, all sorts of fun events as well. I don't want you to think it's all sort of really sad stuff. But then there is the reality of what we do is end-of-life care. That's our priority. And I would be as involved with the family as they would want me to be, and that might be to do with funeral planning. It might be to support them with how to tell brothers and sisters about what's happening, and to kind of how much support they want up to the funeral and afterwards as well. So yeah, that's the other end of the spectrum of what we do. And as I say, as you go around the building, you'll notice how this building, I don't know if you came to the last one, but is going to afford so much more privacy for families. I've spoken loads. Have you got any questions?
You said quite a lot.
I'll just show you an example of something though that we use a lot with families where these are memory boxes, and I may go to a family where there's 6 members of the family and they all want a memory box. And these are, I think we get these from Winston's Wish, but we pay about £20 each. We don't want to ask families for money ever. And it might be a therapeutic piece of work that we do with a family, but it enables, for example, a child to be able to go and get their box and to talk about their brother and sister, as opposed to feeling, I can't talk about it because I've got to protect mummy and daddy. Or
Sort of comfier chairs, so that if you've got one-on-one adult support, then they can have a session here. And equally, we've got sort of an area used for play or arts and crafts. So art therapy, for example, can be a really good way of getting a child to talk about their feelings. Not without realising they're doing so, but a way to kind of get them to open up to you a bit more in what they draw and talking about what they're doing as they create a picture or something. And also this really means that we can shut the door and go and do something else for a while and then come back to it. So it might be if they're having a session and it gets quite difficult, or if you're hungry and it's lunchtime, for example, you know, you can close the door and it's all kept here as it is. In the old hospice, in the bungalow, we had a dining room which was used, had a dining table in it which was used for arts and crafts as well. So A, it wasn't private, and B, obviously if you're doing arts and crafts and it got near to lunchtime or a child needed to do something else, you had to pack the whole thing away, use the same table to eat your lunch, then bring it all back out again. So having this room is much, much better, and obviously the sink for cleaning up afterwards. You probably noticed the rooms have all got the tracking and hoists and things as well. Yeah, we've put them in the building as much as possible. Obviously for children maybe are in wheelchairs and things, it needs to be hoisted out of their chair and into a different chair or onto a bed or something like that. This is obviously our hydrotherapy room. We've drained it down because we've recruited a physiotherapist, which is not starting until September, and obviously the cost associated with keeping the water at temperature and everything else. So we decided to just drain it down and leave it until she starts. The water is kept at about 37, 38 degrees, so it's kind of like your bath temperature, which obviously is quite a lot warmer than a swimming pool. At our Milton Hospice we have got a big hydrotherapy pool, but it's cost quite a lot to run, so we've gone for kind of a smaller room this time, which the space is big enough to get 2 adults and the child in there. Again, we've got the hoist and the tracking system so that we can hoist them into the pool. Normal swimming pools might be too cold, too noisy, too crowded, the changing facilities are inadequate, so having this available, it might be the first time that some children have been in a pool like this or in space like this, and it's all physiotherapy led, so it's all about how small movements can, sort of keep improving their muscle strength really, and they can see an impact. So if they move their hand, they can see it makes a ripple and a wave. So for some of the children, doing something positive isn't something that comes easily to them. A lot of the time the focus is on disability and what they're not able to do, whereas in here, a bit like music therapy, it's focusing on what they are able to do. And they've got all the floats and things that obviously for children that may be muscular dystrophy or are quite tight on one side, they can use floats to balance them so they're level in the water. And the healing impact that obviously water has, the weight of water has, if you've got swellings and things, the weight of water can make quite a difference. So yeah, so a new really exciting piece of work for our care team, which I think they're all itching to get involved in, because obviously they'll need to be trained by the physiotherapist, and then kind of, we'll have sessions with the key members of staff and the physio as well.
Brilliant.
And we could have, family members can come and watch, so we're going to get a bench so that mum or dad or grandparents can come and watch a session as well.
Very good.
Or, for example, a child could come to us in their pyjamas when they wake up in the morning. We'll dress them, give them their breakfast, look after them all day, then at the end of the day bath them, change back into their bed clothes, and then mum or dad will come and pick them up. So it's not maybe the same as having overnight care, but we're able to offer that as well. So in the future it could be as well as having 5 children staying overnight, there could be a couple of children in for long day care as well. And I think Michelle touched on that we also do community care, so each family is allocated to a team, so it might be a team of 4 or 5 carers, like the penguin team or the dragonfly team and things, and then they will get to know the family, and then someone from that team of care and nurses, care staff and nurses will go out into the family home and deliver care there as well. So it might be, I don't know, Monday morning every week they have someone come into the home who plays with the child or takes them out or does whatever is in agreement with the family. So they're getting that support as well. And we try to offer to our families almost like a menu, and they can pick from it what support they want to take from us. So some families, when we first get to know them, might not want their child. Some people, understandably, the word hospice, it's that whole kind of once you go in a hospice you never come out sort of myth, I suppose, that scares people a bit. So we get to know them gradually through community care, and then once they've got to know us, it might be then they're happy to then step it up to coming into the hospice. Or some families don't want someone in their home because that's quite private. They might love using hospice but not want someone to come to the home. So it's all about providing what the families want.
Good a bit there.
This is our family room. Again, at our Milton Hospice we've got 2 family rooms, and they're probably not used as much as we thought they would be, so we've just opted for 1 here, because quite a lot of people ask what's only for 1. This is a zip-linked bed, so it can be unzipped and made as 2 singles, so if we haven't got mum and dad staying, and you've got a grandparent and a parent, or a sibling and a parent staying, we can separate the bed out. Obviously they've got their own ensuite, and we've also got a kitchenette around the corner there, so they can make their own cup of tea, or sometimes they'll go and get Domino's pizza or whatever it may be, without feeling like they're always having to call on the care staff. But sometimes they might not want to be engrossed in what we're doing, they might just want to have 10 minutes out with themselves. So we enable them to do that here. Most of the time this would be used for end-of-life care. Now if a child came into for respite care, maybe the first couple of visits and the family wanted to come and stay too, then obviously they would be more than welcome to, and they could stay here. But normally most families would leave their child here and take some time with other family members, or go away for a night or something, or sleep. So this room would generally mainly be used if a family was staying with us for end-of-life care. So when a child's health deteriorates, that so the GP thinks it's coming into end of life, then the whole family will move in, and that can be for as long or as short a time as it needs to be, and we will do everything for them. So we'll cook all their meals, do all their cleaning. The important thing is they can spend time with their child. Mum and dad will normally stay here, there might be other family members staying here as well, and we'll just do whatever we can for them really, and offer 24-hour round the clock care. In the old hospice, because of the size, if we had end-of-life care going on, then we had to cancel all other respite care or short break care. Because of the size of the hospice, we've got bedrooms around the other side. Depending on the nature and the situation, it is possible that we could have a family in for end-of-life care, and we could still be delivering short break care in a couple of the bedrooms at the other end of the hospice, because it wouldn't all be on top of each other and as inappropriate as it was at the old hospice, which is huge because last year, while the appeal was going on, we had 4 end-of-life care children sort of quite closely linked, which meant that some families went 2 months without any short break care. Now, if these families are getting up a few times every night to look after their child, and we're saying to them, you need our help, if we're then having to postpone their short break care for that period of time, that obviously is quite a strain on them as well. Okay. There's no electricity in these rooms because we're having some work done on the other bedrooms, which I'll tell you about in a second, so excuse the darkness. So the idea is this bed has got another bed underneath that can pull out, so it might be you've got mum and dad and then you've got brother and sister in here, or it could be you've got mum and dad and you've got a sick child in here. It's not a hospital bed, so it really depends on the nature of the child who's in for end-of-life care and what their needs are really. But that is a possibility, and obviously they've got the cost as well. So this room sort of is a flexible room really that can be changed and used as needs be.
Sure, I will.
All of the bedrooms come in like pairs with a bathroom. So there's another bedroom 3 there, and then we've got the tracking and hoist system. So the idea is that you can It has been thought out well.
Look at that, yeah, look.
Link them up.
So you could hoist a child out of bed using this. Obviously, I'm not sure if will this work. Even the electricity's on. I'm not just in a different way. Yeah, I don't think that's going to. But you can obviously hoist. This will go up and down electronically. Hoist them out of bed, bring them right the way through. You can open up the doors, take them right through into the bath. Yeah, the bath goes up and down as well.
Is it?
Yeah, the bath's on the hydraulic bath, so it goes up and down. Children think it's for their benefit, but it's actually for the nurse's back. So you can see another bathroom in there. The next 2 bedrooms, we're having some sort of chiller units installed. So after a child has died, we can cool the temperature of the room right down, and they can stay with us right until the morning of their funeral, if that's what the family or the child would like, wish for. And we also have some mobile cooling units as well. So equally, if a child dies at home and the family wants a child to remain at home, then they can do that rather than going to a funeral directors. And for some families who maybe their child was only in special baby care in hospital and then came here, to be able to spend some time with them without the monitors and everything else that comes with it, that can be really important and special to them. So that's the work that's going on further down. Provide these computers to children's hospices throughout the UK, and we were just lucky that it just timed in with us getting a new one when we got the new building. So, but it is really popular, and where's the cap? The cap, as I understand, you can put the cap on and it will control the mouse and things, so children they can use their heads but obviously can't use their hands and still participate. And obviously you've got like the roller ball and things can help as well. This is what we're calling the Haven. A lot of children's hospices have a chapel. We took the decision not to have a chapel because we are a charity of all faiths and none. So this is more of a sort of contemplation room instead. So we've got some spiritual care artefacts. So people that maybe of a certain religion or want to have a moment for themselves and whatever way that may be, can take some time out in here and pray or worship or whatever. And we also use this room for things like funeral planning and families' wishes, which is when we sit down with a family and discuss when we would resuscitate their child, what their wishes might be when it comes to end of life care. Would they like them to be cared for here or at home? Who would be involved in that and that sort of thing. I think it's fair to say that quite often what a family thinks they want might differ to what they actually want, so we have to be as flexible as possible, because it might be that a family starts off delivering care in the family home and then find it gets too difficult and then short notice they move into here, or vice versa. So it's a sort of a quiet room, quite heavily soundproofed because the music studio is next door, and obviously it's quite confidential things that go on and are discussed in here.
Also a different atmosphere in here to the rest of the hospital.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And they do seem that bit chapel and sort of,
Yeah, exactly. And we've got the big window. I think it's fair to say the windows frame's a bit more industrial than perhaps we'd imagined it would be. But the idea is obviously it gives people an escape route, if you like. So if you're asked a difficult question and you need to buy yourself some time, you can buy yourself some time by looking out the window without feeling like you're hemmed in and trapped in. And the family support team are going to put some big planters out where bereaved families can plant some bulbs and things, because again that's quite a big piece of work. A lot of children, a lot of families maybe had a child die in the old hospice. We've had quite a transition for them really, and it's important that we recognise that and bring that over with us.
What is happening to the old hospice?
Well, we rented it from the Primary Care Trust, so it will just go back. We rented it for literally a peppercorn rent, so it's not an asset that we've got that we can utilise or do anything with. And some people have asked whether we were going to keep it and things, but I think given that we had it on such a reasonable, a zero rent basically, it's only fair that we offer to give it back now that we've got this building, and it means you've then got a split team, doesn't it, and everything that comes with it. So yeah, we'll just hand that back. But we did also rent a nurse's flat over on Wharf Close, which we use as an office, and we also rented an office at Epsilon House for fundraising staff. So those two rents, obviously, we're no longer paying. The therapist isn't here today, so he works with us 3 days a week, and he works at St Elizabeth Hospice 2 days a week. but he obviously also delivers quite a lot of care in the community as well. Music therapy is really, really important to us because it's fantastic for building a relationship with the child, it's fantastic for, like I said earlier, focus on the abilities rather than disability, you know, everything's a positive, and it's really, really good for communication. So it might be that he says to a child who can't verbally communicate, if the answer to a question is yes, hit the symbol, and if it's no, hit the drum, and then you can ask things like, are you happy today? Are you pleased to be here? You know, would you like a sandwich for dinner? Whatever it may be, and they can then give you an answer instantly. The equipment's all set up so that when he's not here giving sessions, it can also still be used by, you know, the children generally. Although he is the techno man and knows what he's doing. He has got an iPad which has got, you can download an app which has got like your turntables on it, so that just by moving their hand they can scratch discs and switch the songs over and things, which again for children that maybe are in a wheelchair and quite limited but can use one finger, to be able to do something like that's really nice for them. This is our sound cradle, which they're designed by a chap in Iceland, but this one came from Germany, and it's quite expensive. I think it costs about £2,500. It was funded by there's some ladies in Leiston that have got their own charity shop, and they run it themselves all year, and then they give donations to different charities. So this is a hay mattress, and the child lays it in the sound cradle, and then Ray would play some beautiful tune on the harp at each side. Me not being musical at all, can't play it. And then it's got these holes here, so the child can not only hear it, but can also feel the vibrations as well. So that's and that has been really, really popular, because some children it just relaxes them completely and brings out smiles and things. It does have a bag and it is portable, but Ray's about the same height as me, so how he's going to walk it around, and he has a punto. But anyway, that's by the by. So again, it can be taken to family home, and you can also turn it up on its side, and an adult could sit in a chair inside it, and then you can play music that way as well. So it's a good piece of equipment. And then obviously it's got these lovely doors which open right out into the garden. We've got an event coming up called Music in the Woods, when we invite all the hospice families to come, and they have like a band and a barbecue, and we've got to do a performance and fundraising, we've got to sing a song, and obviously that would be really nice to have this open space this time. So let's show you the sensory room.
A lot different to your other one.
Yes, I know, which was virtually non-existent. So obviously this is our beautiful sensory room. I think the only problem we've got with this room is you can't get the children out of it. It's not, there's nothing else wrong with it. It's just trying to persuade them, you know, this is your 40 minutes or whenever it's up. So we've got the bubble tube and obviously the padded area. We've got the water bed there, which for children maybe that come to us from school, so they'll be able to kind of, you know, lay down for half an hour, watch a bit of Shrek, and chill is really nice. You push these yellow buttons, change the colours of the clouds, lights. So that's kind of like small action by the child, obviously, you know, cause and effect. We've got the projector pane on the wall, so we can project films, we can project TV, we can project Wii games or PlayStation games. So, you know, playing Wii Sports on there or FIFA on the PlayStation on there is pretty impressive, really. And then we've also got this one. I can't really see the table when it's on. So these panels, we can change the lighting of the room. So A, it's fun, and B, some children maybe some lights easier on the eye than other lights for them personally, but you can't mix that with the unfortunately. And then obviously we've got this sensory wall as well, which is really clever, and it does quite a lot of amazing things which I have no idea how they work. But you've got this panel here, so you can plug in like pads that are different colours, and then they can play games on here as well. So like a blue square will flash up and they hit the blue, and then a different colour will flash up and they can gain points and things. So and yeah, it's really popular just to play with. But we're also going to have a similar one that's going to be shaped like a tree in the reception area. We've got a big black wall, we haven't got any, it's quite clinical still. We're going to have one shaped like a tree, because some children may be that visually impaired, it might be the touching part of that wall, they then associate that with being at the hospice. So that can either change colours and things and use bits with these things and stuff. So yeah, it's a nice room. We've kept the floor quite spacious and quite bare. At our Quidnam Hospice, the floor's got padding all on it, which is lovely for the children, but obviously it's not as accessible. So by having the space clear, if we need to bring a bed in, if a child's bed bound, we can bring a bed in. We can bring, 2 or 3 wheelchairs in. You've got the bean bags, so you can still kind of make it an area where families could all sit together. We can put the music right up and make it your kind of disco-y environment. Obviously, you can bring it right down and make it your more kind of chilled and relaxing. And obviously, we've got the tracking and hoisting here again. So it is a really, really popular room. There was a little boy in here yesterday who was on the PlayStation, and some people arrived, and I was like, "Oh, do you want to have a photo with them?" He's like, "No." And I was just like, "Oh, right then." He was like, "I'm no care stuff." I'm like, well, actually, you've only got another 5 minutes on the PlayStation, then you've got to come out, and he was not impressed with that at all. So yeah, it is a really, really popular room that's used by everyone, and it can be used by families as well. If you've got a family and friend of life care, having 20 minutes playing the PlayStation and just doing something completely different, away from all the stress and strains that's going on in their life, that can be really beneficial for them. So thank you very much, because you guys funded it. So without you, we wouldn't have it. So thank you.
It's nice to see this country.
And you have everything you need?
In here? Yeah, I believe so. I think, My Care's designed at Stanton, that sort of designed it and installed it. They do this all the time, so this is what they do nationally. So obviously they had sat down with our hospice manager and discussed what we wanted it for and what they'd got and kind of put it together. So I think they've helped us to make sure that we've thought it all through and put in place everything that we want. And it's still early days, isn't it? Some of the rooms in the hospice, like the lounge, there's not as much furniture in there as we will be buying. But rather than go mad and go, right, let's buy everything for the whole hospice now, we've bought odd bits and pieces, see how we go, and then whether we want them in other areas, like the snuggle chair out in the play area, I think we're probably going to want another one of those somewhere, but, we've kind of, rather than...
As you go,
yeah, exactly, yeah. Because we've got to be, careful, money, go nuts. Is there any other questions or anything? And then obviously we've also got the TV, which is for the PlayStation and stuff. So most of the care goes on in this area. So you've got arts and crafts space. These balls are a huge amusement. The number of times I've come out here and they're just everywhere. And they've got all water playing. Okay, sorry. In the cupboards. So this is sort of like I said earlier, the main hub really, and then everything else feeds off it. But the sensory room is then kind of the sensory and the music studio and the main